my channel. Today we're going to be doing another fashion merchandising video. Today what I wanted to focus on is what exactly is fashion merchandising, and the reason being is when I was in school and I would tell people, oh yeah, like I'm a fashion merchandising major, they would look at me and be like, so like, you want to sell clothes? No. To be honest, it was one of the most like frustrating things ever because I couldn't like understand why people didn't think fashion was more than just, you know, designing a dress and like selling it. Like there's so much in between those two processes and even more before the whole design process that people just didn't know about at all. And to be honest, like I didn't know anything about it either until I actually started like studying and getting into the major. So I just think there's not a lot of information out there for people about what the fashion industry even is, other than the people that are in the industry itself or people that are like diehard fanatics about it. Then they probably know. Fashion merchandising has to do with the management, merchandising, and the buying side all behind fashion. So what is merchandising and what is buying? Merchandising is kind of being in charge of everything that goes into every store, how it's presented even, also like keeping track of like how much of this one shirt, how much of this one pant has to all go into this location, that location, etc., etc. So now fashion buyers are people that actually go out to buying shows and they actually pick out pieces for the store, and you know, of course, if you're a large, like part of a large corporation like Macy's, you're in charge of buying maybe just the accessories or just the dresses or just the shoes, because you know, these departments are huge and not one person can just buy everything for everyone. And then of course there is always the design side to fashion, but the merchandising major doesn't really focus too much on it, but there is going to be some background work in design as well. Honestly, like in this major you learn from A to C of what goes on in the industry, from production to quality, like maintenance, to the buying, to the retail side of it. So think of like a really in-depth like look into the fashion industry, and that is what a fashion merchandising major is. What kind of classes can you expect in this major? You can expect some fashion design classes. Yes, it's a thing. I had to take some illustration classes. I had to learn how to draw out designs. You have to take some production classes with that too. So it's not just drawing out like your fashion designs, it's doing it through Adobe Illustrator. So drawing a lot of flats, technical flats I should say, so knowing where the stitching is going to go on a skirt or on a shirt, and then how you're going to take that thing you just designed and actually put it into production. Coming up with mission statements, it's coming up with, well, what does your brand really stand for, and how does this design fit in with it all, and how much of it are you going to produce, how much is it going to cost, and what fabrics are you going to use.
Okay, so guys, hi!
So along with your production classes, there are also some core classes that any fashion student has to take, and that's history of costume, history of fashion in general, and also just like a general fashion class of like what the industry is and what's involved in all of that. So that's just something that everyone has to do. A production class you might have to take is one where you design a product with your group. And then after designing that product, you have to make the technical flats for it, you have to go out and buy the fabric for it, and it has to be a fabric that makes sense to your product, and then you have to come up with a whole idea and message behind this product, and then after that you have to go and actually sew up your product. So along with your production classes, you're going to take some fabric classes, and I don't know why I always found them so hard. Like I couldn't grasp like fabric. After you have like your design, production, and your general classes taken care of, there's more of the business classes. Now the business classes consist of things like statistics. I know, right? You have to take a statistics class, retail buying. I took 2 of those classes. There's logistics and there's math involved with that too. A lot of math, actually, surprisingly. There's also the way more like business focused classes where you have to make a business plan, where you have to figure out like who your target market is. Some other classes that you might take are some visual merchandising classes. I love those classes. Really into like interior design. Or just like making things look nice and appealing to like a certain person. You will love those classes. Other classes your major might focus in on is marketing, public relations, and writing for the fashion industry. I actually took all that in one class, but maybe your major that you're choosing has a bit more classes to it. And if it does, I mean, I highly recommend that because marketing is so important when it comes to fashion. I don't know why my major didn't do a bit more courses involving that. A lot of your courses are also going to be about research and just researching your target market and your demographic that you're trying to aim for, and also researching a lot into brands and how much they're making on a yearly basis, on a quarterly basis. As you go on throughout your major, I mean, the courses are going to get more specific, and then towards the very end, the courses you take are just going to be a combination of just everything you've learned. One of my biggest pieces of advice with this major is take your time. I wish I went a bit slower because honestly you're absorbing so much information. It's better if you take your time. Also put in as much work and effort as possible. I mean, some classes can seem really easy to you, but the more effort you put in, the more you're going to learn and the longer it's going to stick with you as well. Another piece of advice I could give you is have some patience when it comes to your group projects, because this major is pretty much just group projects. I mean, I don't think I had a class that I wasn't involved in some sort of group project, which is really good because when you're out there, you're just working with teams. There's no like part of the industry where you're working alone. You're always going to be working with somebody else. And if you like people, if you like working with people, like this is a great field for you. If not, maybe you should reconsider your major. So yeah guys, that is all for my video today. If you guys have any questions at all, or if there's something that I missed that you would like me to elaborate more on, just leave it down in the comments below. I would be happy to answer any questions, and if there's a video that you'd like to see me do, just let me know. I know there's a video that was requested about internships that is coming soon, I promise. So make sure you subscribe below if you like what you see. Like and share with other people too, especially people that you think are going to be interested in fashion. I think, yeah, I would be able to help them out. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye!